All right, welcome to episode 2 of the Iowa Girls Story podcast. Today I got Shae Muecke with me, one of the OG girls of the Northwest Iowa Girls Wrestling. How you doing today, Shae?
I'm great.
Good deal. So we met a long time ago. I'm
Hmm.
guessing it's 8, 9 years ago. And if I
Yep.
remember right, that was at the Female Elite Wrestling in Norwalk.
Yep.
So how did you get started and how did I end up meeting you there?
So I was a manager for our wrestling team way back, and we had a great head coach, Coach Blake Stappenfield, and he kind of always used to tease me and be like, "Oh, we don't have a 106 pounder. You should do it." And then one day it just wasn't like jokes anymore, and I was like, "Okay." And then I don't know, I just kind of started.
Awesome. And then I know once we kind of connected, you, me, Keegan, and everything, we started doing those practices. Kind of would meet at a different school every
Mhm.
weekend. Um, any memories or anything about those practices that kind of set you aside, set aside to go, wow, that's really something that kind of helped me progress.
I think all of those were everything that kept me involved in the sport. It kind of made me fall in love with it. Obviously, when I was growing up, we didn't really, the room, the first year was great. I had a great head coach that supported me. But after that year, it kind of was hard because I was wrestling with just guys, didn't have a lot of support in the room. And um, those practices gave me a support system. They gave me other girls to wrestle, made me realize I wasn't like alone in the sport. So I think it ultimately led to me wanting to wrestle for the next 4 years in college and continue to help grow the sport the way that those practices made me want to continue to wrestle.
So now when I look back and I know you were at the very first girls meet in Ogden, what was it like to be involved in the very first thing that ever happened in the state of Iowa with kind of towards the working on sanctioning?
That was super exciting to be involved in, especially now looking back on it. That was the smallest tournament compared to what you see now. So
I think
it's
it was
really
11 girls,
exciting.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it's really exciting to see coming from that to like where we are now.
I know you also were able to wrestle at a couple, at least one of the IWCOA tournaments, which
Mhm.
would have been, I think, the very first one, if I
Mhm.
remember right, a very, very cold and snowy day
Yes.
up in Waverly. Um, Part of history, though. That was the first time Iowa girls all got together and crowned a state champion. What was that like?
That was really exciting. That was my last year wrestling in high school. So it was exciting to be a part of that and now seeing it now. That was like the first time in history we were able to do it. So it was nice to get that opportunity that we never had before.
Yeah, and I think another first. I mean, you keep having these first and first and first, and there's more to come. But I believe you were part of that first group to wrestle at Wells Fargo in the AAU state championships too.
Mhm.
So I mean, you keep being involved in all these first, and then also part of the Grandview first team. That was a pretty special deal. But how has it been since that first? How the team has progressed, and how your role has progressed in that?
Yeah, Grandview has grown so much since I first got there. It's been really exciting to be there since the first start of the program. Seeing our team go from like 10 girls to now we have like 50 to 60. It's really exciting to be a part of that growth and the development of the room. Um, yeah, it's really exciting. And then going from being an athlete with the team to now being a GA, graduate assistant coach, and getting to help the girls in a different way, it's been an exciting journey.
I know the last couple of years you've kind of been behind the scenes with Coach Vias and learning a lot and graduating with a couple degrees now. That's really cool. Um, some other opportunities that have come your way. You're helping out Sam Siebold with Siebold Girls Wrestling Club. what's that
Mhm.
like to, and then I don't know how often you get over there because I know it's a little bit of a drive for you. And but what's it like being able to coach an all girls club team
Seeing what Sam does is really, really exciting. Obviously, I don't get to be around very much, but going to those tournaments with her and helping out where I can is super great. She does a great job being a good influence for those girls. And just getting to see an all girls club like that, it gives it's easy for me to want to back a club like that because it's something I wish we had more of. And having a great coach like Sam in your corner, who roots for you not only just in life but on the mat too, and seeing a strong role model like that is really great for young girls to know, like, they have good female support systems and stuff like that, backing them. So I like being able to see the way that Sam gives back to those girls and gives them the most opportunities.
now? Awesome. And then something that's a little closer to home, and I know you've been helping out, kind of a friend of mine too. You've been helping Joel up in Hinton, and
Mhm.
anytime you get back, you get up there and you do some practices for him and stuff. Um, what's that's kind of your home area. I know you didn't go to Hinton, but you're 10 minutes from the school. What's it like to see Hinton wrestling growing? And this year they're going to be joined up with Sergeant Bluff, and it's going to be a nice sized team. And they really did well last year. But what's that like to have, a little bit to do with that Hinton program?
So I actually love that so much. That's my favorite thing that I've gotten to be a part of right now. Just because when I was growing up, I would wrestle in that room all the time. And um, I love Hinton. I love their coaching staff and everything that Joel does. And so being able to give back to those girls who are in my hometown is so special to me. And it's my favorite getting to see all of them. And I love giving back to that room. They're great. And Joel does such a great job in that room. The, the girls are really lucky to have a coach like him. I'm really thankful for the opportunity that I get with him. And that's my favorite time is being in that room.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've enjoyed getting to know Joel this last year, and
Hmm.
he's done a great job with that program, and I can really see it being a really strong program in Northwest Iowa, and
Hmm.
hopefully more choose to do what he's done. Um, Kind of cool. We finally got to take that trip together to Florida this summer. Uh,
Yes.
Pretty excited. I really enjoyed being in Fort Lauderdale versus Orlando. I don't know what your thoughts on that, and just overall the trip itself, the girls you met. What's some of the things that you took away from that experience?
I think this trip was one of my favorite trips to Florida. I've coached 3 years now in Florida. So this was really nice. It was good to actually get to coach with you too and be a part of that. But I thought Fort Lauderdale was honestly better than going to Orlando. I think we had a lot of fun. We had a lot more to do, and I feel like I got to see the girls more than I did before. And they all kind of were able to do more stuff together, not having to wait in lines as much. And we still went to Disney, so that was super fun. Still got the whole amusement park experience, but I think they were able to do different stuff in Florida that maybe they haven't done before. So that was really exciting. And then the tournament as a whole was really, really fun to be a part of. I think it's grown so much and the competition was really exciting. And I loved my beach bum girls. They were really fun, and competitive. So it was a good experience.
And I think one of the things I really enjoy about that trip is connecting with some other coaches, and had
Mhm.
quite a good group of female coaches. We had Allie G was there, and we had Casey Coles and Crazy Carrie O'Connor. Um, what a great group to be with.
Mhm.
And what's it like to have some more female coaches, and to see that starting to grow, and some very accomplished coaches already. And
Mhm.
Allie's done a fabulous job up at Cedar Falls, and Casey winning a state title this year for Decorah, and Carrie's up in Mason City and doing fantastic stuff up there. That was really cool to have a group of female coaches and kind of younger female coaches too. So
Mhm.
what was that like?
I think that was super exciting. I got to coach right alongside Casey, and I thought we made a great duo. I love Casey so much. So it's also exciting just to see more women in that role. And the way that we like fed off of each other and bounced ideas off of each other was like super productive, even in our conversations after wrestling and like our ideas, what we wanted to do, like bouncing everything off of each other. I thought that was just a good experience to get to hear how people want to grow their rooms and seeing the different ways people run a room and the ways people coach in the corners and, you know, just feeding all of that different information that we all have and like joining it together so that we're able to grow together. Um, it was a great support system. I still talk to Allie and Casey all the time, Carrie too, and I love those girls, and I think they're great coaches and great people to learn from.
Awesome. And we a lot of people look at wrestling and they're always looking at the national champions. They're always looking at the state champions. You know, your college career was plagued with injury and illness and all this stuff. So you didn't get a lot of opportunity. But there's a lot of things that I think you gained from the sport of wrestling. At the time your high school career, you were wrestling mostly boys. You
Mhm.
had, I think your AAU state tournament was probably one of your best, and I think you placed third if I remember back,
Mhm.
right? But
Yeah.
placed third behind some really good college wrestlers too, if I remember.
Mhm. Yes.
I remember. So that's pretty cool. That group that you guys even actually went to all the college together for second and third, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So even though maybe your wrestling career didn't go as planned, what has wrestling given you?
Wrestling's given me everything. It's given me a lot of opportunities. I got to come to Grandview University, which is the best decision I ever made. And that's led me down a lot of great paths. I worked for a lot of sport teams because of them, and I'm finding out what I want to do with the career. And I've been given great career opportunities being here in Des Moines with so many, minor league teams right here too. So Grandview is able to help me, and Crinzy and Vias are really good about helping me find every opportunity and seizing it, taking me to different conventions and making sure I'm always building new connections. And because ultimately they just want the best for me and my future. So I think wrestling's just done absolutely everything to put me at where I am now. And I wouldn't be in the position I'm at now, being able to coach college girls and doing Team Iowa things and giving back to, even Hinton. And then now working for the Iowa Wolves, I think I would not be exactly where I am today without wrestling. And it's also just taught me like persistence or yeah, persistence and um I've gotten through a lot of stuff because of it. I think it sets me apart in a lot of ways too. So I'm really thankful for where it's gotten me. I know I didn't have the career that I thought I was going to have when I entered into college, but it's made me a better coach on top of that because I have to study every day. I don't have necessarily maybe the most confidence because I wasn't the best wrestler when I was in college. So not having a national championship or something to back me, I have to study and study and study all the time. So I feel like I'm constantly learning and wanting to be better each day as a coach. So that I think just makes me take my position a lot seriously, and I'm able to learn and grow from not being as successful.
One of the things that I really enjoy seeing you do is you love to work with developmental girls.
Mhm.
And I think that is probably one of the most important things we can do as coaches. Um, what's it like to see that first win or to see it finally click in somebody's eyes?
Yeah, I love it. I love doing the developmental girls because I believe I was there myself. And somebody's got to pick you up and be that person that believes in you the way that you believed in me when I first started. So it's so great to see when they turn that corner and they start to learn. It like all starts to click and make sense. I love that because their wins they take to heart really, really deeply, I believe. Doing a lot of these developmental teams, even just that one win, they might not win the entire team duel and they might not win every single match. And that might be the only win that they have, but they have so much fun doing it. And just seeing the way that wrestling lights up their life and makes them happy, and that one win sticks with them for so long, that makes me really happy. It brings a lot of joy to me because those little things are good. And that's kind of what keeps me going as a coach, I feel like.
And I know I've been down to Grandview many times, and the coaching staff, both both sides, the men's, the women's. Um, it's got to be really cool. Coach Mitchell, I remember being at a couple times before Coach Vias and Coach Crenzy were hired, and I was there with some girls and just listening to him talk. I was ready to come back to wrestling, and I was, in my 40s, and I know I wouldn't have been able to, but man, he's inspiring. What is some of the things that like Coach Mitchell, Coach Crenzy, Coach Vias, Reedy, what are those guys, what have they done for you? What's some things that they have said that'll stick with you for life?
I think they're the most inspirational and knowledgeable people that I've ever met. I Nick Mitchell and Coach Guernsey are obviously a lot of the reason that I went to Grandview, and I just love absorbing all the information that they have. They have so much knowledge, and the way that they look at life is so different, but it makes me want to be a better version of myself every day. And so I guess one thing that I specifically have taken from them, I think this is a Nick Mitchell one. I used this the other day actually because I think it's one of the most important things I've learned is 10 steps. And he's not the only one that says 10 steps. His coach from Wartburg, he says this at the national convention too, the 10 steps theory. I've heard both of them talk about it. But you have 10 steps from here to the wrestling room. I might be having a bad day in the office, but I got 10 steps to let that go and be the best version of myself because my athletes don't want me to be all sad and depressed because they're there for me. So 10 steps to change it. I have 10 steps from my car to my house. So I take those 10 steps to debrief and let whatever happened at work go. And now I'm home and I can relax and be home. You have 10 steps from here to work to be, okay, this is going on in my outside life. Let me put it aside. This is better. That's one thing that I use to this day, because I think that's super important to help you balance everything. And then honestly, just the championship lifestyle that we preach, I think that's super important. I take that with me everywhere I go. Do more, be more. That's Coach Crenzy. Um, I can't imagine not wanting to be the best version of myself every single day. And that's something that I see all of our coaching staff want to be. So taking that with me everywhere I go, do more, be more. If I'm working for the Iowa Wolves and I'm selling tickets, I need to be more. I need to do more and be the best at my position. If I'm home and I'm just, you know, being a daughter, I want to be the best daughter to my parents that I can be, that kind of thing. Like being more in life than just an average person. And I think those are things that set me apart and make me successful. And I learned a lot of that from them.
That's awesome. I know you are starting your first big girl job,
Hmm.
but you had to give up one of the loves of your life, I think, and maybe you'll do a little bit of it. But you're a great dog mom.
Hmm.
Uh, but you had all those dogs to hang out with. This maybe off the subject of wrestling, but what's your fascination with the dogs? Why are they so important to you?
It's been my thing that's just been different. I guess I worked at Dogwoods Lodge for 3 years and I instantly fell in love with working there. It's my gives me a little endorphin boost, I guess. Because it's just they're great. There's no better thing than dogs on this planet, and I'll always think that they're so good and they don't know what's going on in your life, so they just always want you to be happy and like they don't understand anything. But the people that I've met working there too, all great people, all from different backgrounds and everyone being through something else and all coming together just because we love animals. And that's like, it's so crazy. It's really sad leaving that job so much. I love all those people, but I know, life has to move forward. But I love working with the dogs. It just puts a smile on your face when, you're not having a great day.
And now you're starting a new adventure in your life.
Yeah.
First big girl job, uh,
Yeah.
Iowa Wolves, semi-pro basketball team. What's that all about? Why don't you explain that to us a little bit?
Yeah, so I just accepted a position with the Iowa Wolves. So I'm working as an Iowa sales exec rep. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of like ticket sales and that kind of thing. Um, Working in under Alex. So I'm one of the first females in the sales team, from what I've heard and from them. So that'll be exciting to branch out and look at things a little bit differently. Also, I think I've been kind of doing the sales role a little bit through my work at Grandview. So putting it to a different use because I've been, using it to sell Grandview for the last 6 years. So now it's let's sell Iowa Wolves. And it's kind of a full circle moment for me. I grew up with the Timberwolves background. And so now to be a part of an organization that I have a lot of core memories at, a lot of good family memories at, that's a full circle. I'm really excited about it. I also just love sports. So I'm really excited to do a different sport. Basketball is really exciting being part of like the GPAC. So I'm really excited about this.
And that is cool because you've done stuff with hockey, you've done stuff with
Mhm.
football, wrestling. I mean, you just all the sports. It's really cool. So there's who knows, maybe there'll be some little girls listening today, um, or maybe there's a parent listening that's not sure if they should let their daughter wrestle or things like that. Because there's a lot of misconceptions about this. What is something you could tell them about wrestling and why they should?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think that the person I was before I started wrestling was not the person that I am today. And wrestling has allowed me to be more independent. I have gained my voice. I'm not afraid of things I used to be afraid of. Because, like it's corny, but once you've wrestled, you can do anything. That's kind of how I feel. Just because, especially for me, being a female in the sport, it was different. It was hard to be a different person than everybody else around you and start something new. But now I look at it and I'm like, I did that. And now I'm going into a room where I might be the only girl again, but I've already done that. So now I'm not afraid to put myself apart and step into a different position. And the people I've met through wrestling, I have so many different connections. And I just know no matter where I go, I'll know somebody that I've met through wrestling and I'll always have a person. So I think just being able to let your daughters wrestle or just go out there and wrestle yourself, it's so important. It helped me in my life journey figure out who I am. And I really think that it pushes you mentally and physically into being the best version of yourself because it is so mentally hard. So now everything else is just easier.
Awesome. I'm sitting down in my basement wrestling room. I know you've been down here before. I'm sure your name's on the wall somewhere.
Yeah.
But I looked at the pictures before I started this, and I always I put pictures up of events we've been at and things like that. Man, I think you're in about half of them, which is
Yep.
really cool. So it's cool because I gotta coach you. You've got to coach me before at a
Yep.
tournament, which was kind of fun. I've got to watch you as a college athlete. I've got to watch you as a coach, and now as a peer. And it's really kind of been cool to watch this whole thing come full circle, and that the bonds built and the support systems are still there. Um, I don't know. I don't have really anything else. But do you have any final thing you want to say before we get off this?
I am really glad I got to do this. I think our journey together has been really exciting. I'm really thankful that I was able to have a coach like you growing up because I think if I didn't, I wouldn't have gone to college to wrestle. I think having somebody who believed in me when I had two left feet was really, really great for me. And then just having someone like you to root for me in life and help me find my next opportunity is really something that I'm grateful for. So I'm really just thankful for all of this.
All right. Well, thanks, Shae. I've always wanted to do some podcasts before. I've been
Yeah.
on a bunch, and I've always I've kind of wanted to do this. So I'm hoping this all works out. Hell, maybe. Oh, there's one more thing. You're going to start doing some podcasting. I
Yeah.
forgot about this. Why don't you throw that with Flow Wrestling, right?
Yeah, we're doing a little college preview. We're gonna record it sometime this month, I believe. So yeah, just gonna recap what we think season's gonna look like in the college aspect, and it'll be exciting. It's me and two other girls. We all met at the NWCA convention, so that was like super exciting to even be at that. And the connections I made from there are crazy. And Kyle, I've known forever from wrestling, and he's interviewed me a million times. So it's gonna be exciting to be on that opposite end because I love sports broadcasting and I love to talk. So talking about wrestling is gonna be super exciting.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Shae.
Of
I
course.
will see you soon.
Yes.